Okay, chapter 10.4, slope of a line. And we got a couple of things, a couple of graphics here to get us started. First, we have to understand what slope is. And slope is equal to the change in y over the change in x. So this is the change in y over the change in x. Okay, for instance, this is the y coordinate, and this is the x coordinate. This is the y-axis, and this is the x-axis. The green one here is the y, is the x. It's the first one, and the red one is the y, as far as the coordinates go. And the same thing here. And so we're looking at the change in y. So this y starts at -1. This y is at -1. And this y is at +3. What's the difference between -1 and +3? So that's the change in y. And the change in x is -2, and it goes to 4. And notice that y is this direction and x is this direction. So if we want to follow this through, we might make a red line because it matches the y, and it goes from this y up to that y. And then the change, the green change, I guess it's a little bit different color of a green, but it's almost the same, in x goes from here over here, but we're going to just start here and go to here. Okay, so hopefully that helps a little bit. The slope is the change in y over the change in x. We also like to call it the rise over the run, and it's just easier to remember this way. Rise over run. You can run first and rise second, or you can rise first and run second. And you'll see it in the book done a number of ways. Okay, but the top number is always the rise, and the fraction, and the bottom number is always the run. Now, if we are actually looking at change in y, we're going to say we're going to say -1 take away 3, or 3 take away -1. We can go this one direction or another as long as we do it the same. 3, what did we say? We said -1 minus 3, so it's -1 minus 3. This is the change, which means we're going to subtract them to see what the difference is. Okay, and then the x one is -2 minus 4. Okay, so hopefully you see that the change is the difference. It's the difference. Okay, the difference between the two y's and the difference between the two x's. Now if we simplify this, this is -4 over -6, and that simplifies down to +4 over +6, which simplifies down to 2/3. Alright, so what we might see is a rise of 2 and a run of 3, or a rise of 4 and a run of 6. And if we counted, we'd actually know that we go 1, 2, 3, 4 is our rise, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is our run. And the slope is just this 2/3. Okay, so the slope has to do with the angle. The steeper it is, the closer it gets to, or the smaller the number, and the flatter it is, the bigger the number. And let's check to see if that's true. Nope, it's the other way around. Okay, so well, we'll see that as we go along. Trying not to confuse you too much. Change in y over the change in x, the rise over the run. Okay, let's look at this simplified version, 2/3. And if we just switch back to green, if we go up 2, I'm going to go up 2, and I'm going to go over 3. And then I'm going to go up 2, I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you can see that going up 4 and over 6 is the same as up 2 over 3 repeated, and there would be a point right here on this line. This would be a point on the line, and the next point on the line would be up 2 over 3 and be somewhere over here. We could go backwards 3 and down 2, backwards 3 and down 2. The same thing. Just keep working it. Okay, so what is the slope? Let's look at another question. Find the slope of a line. Okay, so we have a line right here at -1, 3, which is, there's a point here. Oh, I need to be here. There's a point here at -1, 3, and there's a point over here at 3, 1. This is 3, 1. And we can connect those two like this. And then we can figure out the slope. What is the slope? Well, the slope is the rise over the run. Okay, and so we could just say, well, we go, what's the rise? It goes up. Let's change the color. The rise is 2. You can see from here up to here, which would measure out that. And the run is 4. But we need to recognize that we are running in the negative direction, and this might be an important thing to think about. Okay, so we went up in a positive direction. This is always positive, and this is always positive. Remember, if this is 0, 0, we go positive this direction, and we go positive this direction. Negative is this direction, and negative is this direction. So our rise is in a positive direction, which is +2. And our run is in a negative direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's -4, which simplifies to -1/2. Now, just take a look for a second. What if we had done it the other way? What if we had started here and we had done our run first and our rise second? Okay, this puts our rise this puts our rise in a positive direction and our run in a negative direction, which is the same thing, positive and negative. Okay, but what if we'd gone the other way? Let's look at that. What if we had gone, let's see if I can back up a little. There we go. What if we had started here and gone down and gone over? So this would be a negative rise. So this rise would be a -2, and our run would be a +4. What I want you to notice is that 2 over -4 is -1/2, and -2 over 4 is also -1/2. For our rise and our run become the same no matter how we do it. And it's the easiest is just to draw it on a graph. That's the quickest way. I showed you how you could subtract to get the answer, but you do not have to do it that way. A lot of times the easiest thing to do is just to draw it. Sometimes they'll just give you a slope and a point, and they want you to find another point, or they want you to graph a line. So say the slope is equal to 1, and you have given the point 1, 3. Okay, now the slope being equal to 1, this is the same as 1 over 1. You always have to have a fraction because you need to have your rise over your run. So the slope is 1, which just means that it rises 1, runs 1, rises 1, runs 1. So it's just going to go like that from wherever you start, and our starting point is 1, 3. So we're going to go 1, 3, and this is our starting point, And then we're going to rise 1, run 1, rise 1, run 1, rise 1, run 1. And we could just do it right here, but I want to make sure we get a few spaces over so that we can draw our line accurately. And make sure we go through with the ruler so that it looks good. Now this other point would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this would be 4, 6, I think. And we could always check to see if it's true by subtracting our y's, our rise, which is 6 take away 3, 6 take away 3, over our run, which is 4 take away 1, just to see if we've done it right. 6 take away 3 is 3, 4 take away 1 is 3, 3/3 is equal to 1. And that's what we started with, so we know we did that right. Okay. Have fun with this assignment.